cycles. So they go through these cycles.
They're the exact same guy.
Pre-civilization when they're...
The purpose of this video, I really just want to show you guys, I want to point you in the direction of probably my favorite YouTube channel right now. This guy is called The Elephant Graveyard. He is absolutely doing a number on the Rogan Sphere comedians, just the absolute sort of disillusioned dystopian disaster that comedy has become. These videos are just absolute masterpieces in my opinion. And let me just jump in. This is the most recent one. He titled it "How Comedy Was Destroyed by an Anti-Reality Doomsday Cult." And these videos just give me faith in humanity because it confirms a lot of the suspicions, a lot of things we're feeling about like what the fuck is going on with, you know, the Rogan Sphere. Why is he having on all of these like billionaire fucking tech psychopaths? And he's like lost in a mis and disinformation tunnel for basically the last like 5 or 6 years. And it's been a complete disaster just watching the downfall of Joe Rogan and, you know, the people that surround him in his orbit. So anyway, this video just absolutely decimates every single one of them. Let's go ahead and watch a chunk of the video in the middle, although I definitely recommend go and watch the whole thing. It is an hour and a half long. It's like a mini movie.
If you indulge Joe in his new hyper reality, you'll be rewarded with opportunity. And because that feels so good, you'll soon find yourself migrating across the psychic ocean of your mind, joining Joe inside his simulacrum. That's why it's called the Comedy Mothership. It's a transport vessel that will migrate its believers into their new reality. Which reminds me of another cult, one of my favorites actually, Heaven's Gate. It too was run by a weird bald guy who wouldn't stop talking. This guy Marshall Applewhite, but his friends called him Doe, which rhymes with Joe. Don't know if Joe designed his cult in homage to Doe's cult, but the similarities are striking. And I even heard a rumor that Joe's dog was named after Marshall Applewhite.
Marshall's trying to say hi to you.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
Doe and Heaven's Gate's beliefs were a cool blend of alien spirituality and Christian apocalyptic prophecy.
I can't wait to get out of here.
Doe believed Jesus was an alien who came to Earth to guide us, and that Doe himself was a messenger from the higher plane of existence, sent here to warn humanity about the upcoming destruction. Sound familiar?
The name Jesus, of course, was the name given to the body, that mind that was indeed from the kingdom of heaven, and that mind came for the express purpose of teaching humans how they could be saved, how they would not be plowed under at the end of the age. Well, we're at the end of the age.
Like the universe has put me in this place where I'm like a scout, right? Like if you sent me down the trail and I'm like, hey, there's a cliff.
Now, they didn't have podcasts back then, but Doe's lengthy, rambling seminar videos would fit in perfectly to our current podcasting landscape.
When things are going bad,
Many times the worst things in the human kingdom that can happen to us end up being the best things that can happen to us.
there's going to be some good that's going to come from it.
Because we learn in-depth lessons because of those difficult times.
Unexpected problems, good. You learn.
They could actually say, thank you for the lesson.
Through his podcast, I mean his videos, Doe lectured that the end of this age is upon us, that the Earth was about to be transformed, recycled, but they could escape this doom by boarding a spaceship flying behind the comet Hale-Bopp as it passed by Earth.
We are one or two events away from living in the Stone Age again. And I think it could happen in our lifetime, and it could happen to you and I.
People who would consider themselves intelligent beings that say, well, that's absurd. What's all this doomsday stuff? What's all this prophetic stuff?
We're in this very strange sort of existential crisis as a civilization that's not being recognized. And in the meantime, we're distracting ourselves.
You know, intelligent human beings should realize that everything has their cycle. They have their beginning, they have their end, they have cycles.
Hold on, didn't we Isn't that the exact same?
There are certain ages, almost unavoidable,
Yes.
of civilizations.
Correct.
That they go through these cycles.
They have cycles.
Cycles. That they go
They
through
have
these cycles.
They're the exact same fucking guy.
Greece civilization, when they're at the brink of collapse, becomes obsessed with gender. The whole thing is falling apart. The foundation of our civilization is falling apart.
Doe offered his followers a way to save themselves from what he called the recycling of planet Earth, which was about to begin. He and the cultists needed to die so that the spaceship flying behind the comet could pick up their souls as they left their bodies, carrying them away to the next level of existence, to a new reality. The cultists all submitted to Doe's authority, believing that he was the gatekeeper through which they could ascend to that next level. The ultimate test came when that comet finally arrived, and they all did a full sui in order to join Doe on board that spaceship. And if you know anything at all about the Austin comedy cult, this all sounds eerily familiar, doesn't it? That's because Doe and Joe are the exact same strain of guy. Think about it. Just like Doe, Joe also offers his followers a way to transcend their lives and enter a new reality by boarding the comedy mothership. The comedy cult's followers also must commit a sui to transcend into that new reality. Not a literal full sui, but the kind of sui that existentialist Albert Camus called a philosophical sui. When we're faced with the absurdity of life, the fact that the universe is pure chaos despite our deep desire for order and meaning, we have two options. You can embrace the absurdity, surf the waves of chaos without copes, or we destroy ourselves, either literally or much more commonly through a philosophical sui. You don't sui your body, but you do sui a part of your inner self. You kill the part of your mind that's inquiring, the part that's honest, the part that embraces life's absurdity without copes, and you fill the hole left behind with things that offer false certainty in place of honest doubt. Religious faith, political partisanship, materialism, hollow spirituality, scientism, hustle-cut culture, digital escapism, reactionary nostalgia, being a fat, drunk idiot all the time, philosophical overthinking.
Oh my God.
Cultism and guru worship, or complete submission to authority, sometimes all of the above.
Greetings to you, my friends. It's me, D. Trussell.
Take this guy, Duncan Trussell, for example. One of Joe's longtime friends and a former advocate of radical honesty, truth-seeking, and psychedelic wisdom. Not long ago, he was the lone voice of reason in Joe's inner circle, and the only guy to openly predict how Joe would be corrupted by powerful forces looking to exploit him for access to his far-reaching media platform.
People have decided you're one of the magnifying glasses focusing this beam of attention into the world. You have to watch out because people are gonna try to exploit you. That's the main thing, is people recognizing what you are, who have political agendas, will infiltrate your shit and then start blowing out their radioactivity into the world. And you have to wrestle with your identity. I worry about you, man.
He was well aware of these billionaire techno-wizard freaks out there, manipulating new media before it became too obvious to deny. He warned Joe about them being a danger over and over again.
We established they're these billionaires, and they live in these compounds. Right. And certainly people like Michael Hastings and other people, they get killed all the time. They're super powerful people who will use technology to kill people to have their own way. So that means that there is some group or series of groups of people that are doing highly nefarious actions from places of power. Mm-hmm. We know that there is truly a war to control the paradigm.
He was by all accounts an honest guy, and probably the only guy on that stupid podcast who would rather say what's true than just whatever the burgeoning comedy emperor wanted to hear. But those sorts of qualities are no longer welcome in the comedy czar's simulacrum. They're far too threatening. So once Joe migrated into his new reality, Duncan faced the hard choice of either embracing the absurd and maintaining his principles of honesty and truth, or committing a philosophical sui and joining Joe in his new reality in order to maintain connection to the comedy czar's sphere of influence. Oh, Tipahan.
Whatever's happening, you just have to make it a good thing. anything that's happening to you can be converted into something either that's going to make you scared, self-destructive, rationalize your anger, rationalize your shitty decisions, or it can be used as a thing that completely converts you. Like at any given moment, you can shed your operating system. You could drop all of the hangups, all the weird shit at any moment connected to the great truth, the divine.
That was him 5 years ago. He's since followed through on this new guy conversion, so let's see how connected he is to that great truth. Ooh, that divine.
Let me ask you this, so what do you think about people who say that someone like Peter Thiel is the Antichrist?
Here's what's fascinating to me about accusing Peter Thiel of being the Antichrist.
Now, Peter Thiel, in case you didn't know this in advance, is one of the primary billionaire techno-wizards we mentioned earlier. With his immense wealth, Thiel wields massive influence in politics, media, and online information from behind the scenes. He says cool stuff like freedom and democracy are actually not compatible. Pete's company, Palantir, is deeply embedded with the CIA, ICE, FBI, NSA, police, and the military-industrial complex, and promises to be the most powerful mass surveillance platform to ever exist. He subscribes to a philosophy that believes that civilization as we know it ought to be destroyed, and from its ashes, a new technocracy should arise, a new state run by a CEO king who wields absolute authority. Pete is part of this new military tech industrial complex, operating with little oversight while creating autonomous weapons and surveillance systems, and whose algorithms remain a complete mystery. He's a caricature of a villain, straight out of a comic book. But Pete is real, and the exact kind of nefarious, influential guy that Duncan used to warn everybody about just a few years ago. All right, back to Duncan. What's he saying about Pete?
Here's what's fascinating to me about accusing Peter Thiel of being the Antichrist.
Stuff. He's very
give a
much
talk and awesome. And it was like totally normal dude, obviously super smart. There didn't feel like there was any kind of like subversive anything, nothing to really be scared of.
Depressing,
so people
man.
say that Peter Thiel is Antichrist, just for argument's sake.
Fucking says that.
You hear that? He's actually getting mad about this.
Argument's
Fucking says that.
The reason Dunk's got to do this is because the comedy czar is actually Pete's friend now. So he had to become a new guy to stay in Joe's circle of power, a shriveled husk of a guy, being fed by the demonic umbilical cord attached to the bowels of the comedy czar, from which he can never disengage. He's cooked, finished, and God, look at him, he's just not the same guy. Look in his eyes, it's obvious. Those are suey eyes. Well, that's a confirmed suey for Duncan. Rest in peace, man.
Brutal.
Quel dommage. Well, once you've entered the comedy czar's
You know, if you still at this point are listening to Joe Rogan and taking him seriously, then I don't really know what to tell you. You really need to do some serious self-reflecting, or like step outside of yourself for a minute, take a vacation, go on like a spiritual retreat or something, and like figure out what the hell's going on, because there is nothing good coming out of that world. And yeah, I mean, that video just really, it really makes me feel good inside, if I'm being honest, that there are people that see it as clearly, you know, as we do, as you and I do, that just see exactly what's going on in this like fucking bullshit grifter scam anti-truth circle or whatever. And this isn't like a left-wing or right-wing thing, even though Rogan's aligned with like the far-right techno fucking fascists. I don't mean to make a political argument about it. I just think we need to get back to living in reality, you know? So that's my whole thing about it. And I think that is a video that just absolutely tears the mask off of everything and just shows you the plain reality of things. So for that reason, I appreciate it. Go watch that video, go subscribe to that channel. And yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.